Why you should never trust yourself. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. What we like to do is talk here about business ideas, whether they be principles, strategies, or tactics, things that can help you in your everyday business. So if you're a business owner, if you're a manager, if you're basically a decision maker in business, this is what we talk about. So I'm going to talk about why you should never trust yourself. First, though, I wanted to remind you about brianjpombo.com. I'm a business strategist. It's my website, brianjpombo.com. You could watch videos going all the way back to last year. Go check it out. And you can also check out the Amazon Proof Strategy session, which is all about how to end competition in your specific business. So if you're interested in doing that, go check out the Amazon Proof Strategy session. That's at brianjpombo.com/Amazon. That link should be in the description. Now, let's talk about why you should never trust yourself. And this, I'm not talking about trusting yourself in terms of intuition or instinct. Obviously, as a business owner or as a manager, as the person in charge, you're the only one you can trust in the end. You have to pay attention to where you're coming from. And if you're in the right frame of mind, you have to trust yourself. You're the last person to talk to. But here's why you should never trust yourself. In the sense that you should never depend on yourself alone when it comes to coming up with a direction and a strategy. It's always good to have a direction that you're going in, an idea of what you'd like to try out. But you should never see yourself fully as the end user. Even if you're the ideal person if you're looking for people just like you can't expect you to come up with the things that they're going to come up with, or to be attracted to the same things that they're attracted to. This is a common thing that I deal with business owners all the time. And tell me if you've ever said this. I would never do that. If someone said, let's say we laid out a plan for things that you'd be able to do in your business, and you say, well, we do this type of ad, and we can test this type of thing, and we're going to see what ends up happening. One of the things is surveys. I'll tell you a very common one. One of the things I encourage, and I've never had a client that did a survey that was not happy with the results. They may not be happy with what the results told them, but they're happy they did the survey. But 9 times out of 10, when I sit down and talk about doing a survey with a client, what's the first thing they say? They say, I never fill out surveys. I would never fill out, I can't imagine people actually fill out surveys. Well, there's a reason why market research is a huge industry, multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry. Market research, go look it up. It's because people do fill out surveys. People do tell people how they think, how they buy, all that stuff. There's a million reasons why market research works, and we'll talk about that a different time. But one of the things I'll lay out is the idea of doing a little bit of direct market research, which we've talked about here. And the most common response I get is, I never do that. I would never give my opinion on those type of things. I never fill out surveys. I never take polls. I never. This is a top thing that us as business owners, we got to be careful about, is thinking that we are evidence of what our clientele, what our customer base is going to do. You just aren't. You aren't the evidence. Now, it may be true. Maybe what you're thinking is true, but until you test it, you can't know for sure. So everything takes testing. Don't depend on someone else's opinion either. Test it. Test your opinion against their opinion. Test 2 things. Test doing it with or without the concept that's in hand. If you're working with somebody, or if you've got employees, or if you've got a team of people that has an idea that you're not really certain about. You think it's going to go one way, but they think it's going to go another way. And the final say comes down to your customers or your prospective customers. Test it. Test it. Put your way on one end and their way on the other end and see what ends up happening. The only thing that you can fail at is in doing something that can damage your reputation or something like that. But the likeliness that you're going to do it so broad and great that you can actually accomplish that you can actually damage your reputation, it's low. It's always good to test things out. Test before you decide completely, and let the data, let the evidence of reality decide, or at least give you more of an idea, more evidence, so that you can decide where you're going to go after that. It's just a quick thought. Never trust yourself. Hey, come back tomorrow. We'll have another quick thought, something to kind of get your mind going, and maybe let you question yourself a little bit, but also let you have all the right questions for everybody around you, whether it be the people you work with, the people you work against, or your own customer base. So have a great night. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.